I am Alex Frimpong, the Chief Executive Officer of the Ghana Employers Association.
My name is Kwame Forijeo, Group HR Director for Blisco Ghana and a Council Member of Ghana Employers Association.
My name is Dr. Mrs. Stella Ejinim Boateng. I'm the Deputy Chief Executive Services for the Volta River Authority.
My name is Kwamna Nyakotu. I work for the Trade Union Congress as the Director of Research and Policy and also the Head of the Labour Research and Policy Institute.
Well, the Ghana Employers Association is a national employers body which was established in 1959 primarily to advocate for the interests of employers in the country. So the association is a key member of the national tripartite discourse on employment relations, and it represents all employers in the national tripartite committee discussions on employment and human resource other management issues.
Personally, I've been with GA for a very long time, and my personal experience with GA on this topic is that one thing that disrupts business plans is the macroeconomic instability. GA is therefore mindful of this phenomena and has engages stakeholders in the macro space, such as Ministry of Finance, Ghana Revenue Authority, Ministry of Trade and Industry, Bank of Ghana, with all of them to foster and sustain a stable, predictable macroeconomic environment to reduce the uncertainty in the business plans. The association also plays a very key role in the design, implementation of medium to long-term policies for a sustained private sector growth as a key member of the Social Partnership Council.
So let me start by saying that the effectiveness and the success of every organization depends on how the industrial atmosphere is like. And talking about industrial atmosphere is about the relationship between management and the staff, or the employer and the employees of the organization. GEA is the body that actually brings employers together to ensure that the industrial atmosphere of every organization, it's at the forefront of the employer's thinking around his or her organization. And therefore the GEA's role is to ensure that employers understand the labor relations, employers understand what it takes to build a congenial, harmonious industrial atmosphere that will ensure success, productivity, and effectiveness of their organization. So that is the main role that GEA plays in bringing this whole idea of employers together for that kind of relationship and success of every organization.
Well, the year 2020 has been a very, very difficult one for the association and its membership. And in the process, a lot of activities have been carried out to ensure that the members are able to contain and cope with the negative impact of the pandemic. So in this respect, we engage in a number of discussions, dialogue, negotiations within the national tripartite structure, and also even among our members, in trying to ensure that we understand the implications of the pandemic and its impact on the organizations, and how at the association level we can advocate their interests in ensuring that policies that are very, very congenial for the sustenance of the businesses are implemented at the national level.
First of all, I think the TUC in particular, but also organized labor in general, has had a long-lasting relationship with the employers in Ghana, particularly the Ghana Employers Association. We have been working together for many years on many issues. A typical example is our work we did on the labor law, which today is seen by many people as a negotiated law, a law that takes into account the interests of both labor and employers. Over the last few years, we have also expanded the scope of our work to cover many areas, and is exemplified by the creation of the Social Partnership Council, which both labor and employers work with government to be able to put it together. And that council gives both labor and employers another leg of a forum for dialogue around key economic and social issues that affect both workers and employers. The council actually allowed us to be able to dialogue on the many challenges that confronted this country when coronavirus pandemic hit. And in that dialogue process, we, together with government, and when I say we, organized labor and employers association, together with government, managed to fashion out what became known as the Ghana Cares program, that is seeking to spend or raise and spend about 100 billion Ghana cedis over a 3-year period as the economy recovers from the coronavirus pandemic. We also came up with National Unemployment Insurance Scheme, and also attached to the National Unemployment Insurance Scheme is the training and retraining program, which is something agreed between us and the employers and government to offer some level of assistance to all the workers that have lost their jobs.
The association realized that the outbreak of the pandemic was quite novel. So we needed to ensure that there was a guide to help employers to navigate their way through this period. So we developed a guide to help them, especially how they can protect their employees against the pandemic, and if employees were returning to work as a result of the partial lockdown, what are the do's and don'ts or the steps that had to be taken. Again, a lot of employees were sent home, and during that period, employers needed to engage their employees. So employment relations in these times of crisis were very critical. How do you ensure that this dialogue would ensure that employees and employers would understand each other even though they were staying home, and to understand that the businesses or the business has to continue. Also, when employees were working from home, what are the key issues that should be put in place by the employers? What are the do's and don'ts? What are the facilities that have to be done, even the code of conduct in ensuring that you have an effective working from home policy. Again, employees who contracted the coronavirus, there was the potential that they will be stigmatized in the workplace. So in the event that happened, employers needed to have a workplace anti-stigmatization policy or measures to make sure that employees have a sense of belonging when these matters happen to them. Also, how employers should be able to handle suppliers, customers, and all others who came into contact with them at the workplace was also very important. And GA had to make sure that we put a document together to guide the employers during this difficult period. Well, the association has traditionally been helping its members in staff development, and we needed to really escalate that during this period because of the challenge that it posed to the pandemic posed to businesses and also the general employer-employment relations issues. So one of the key things that we did was try to educate or sensitize members on how to ensure that in the event that they want to declare some employees redundant, what were the do's and don'ts, the rules, the procedures of engagement to make sure that they did not fall foul of the law. We also realized that during this period, a lot of employees and even some of the employers at the highest level were stressed out. So the need for the mental well-being of the employees was stressed. So we had to organize some programs for our members on mental health. So In a nutshell, GEA really intensified its digital presence by making sure the webinars were held to augment the policies that the businesses have in order to ensure that the businesses sustain themselves in this difficult period. Well, as an employers organization, we also needed to make sure that we scale up our corporate social responsibility objective. And in response to the private sector to support the government to put up a facility as part of the process to ensure that treatment comes out handy for both the citizens and everyone who contracted the pandemic, GEA had to make a donation of 100,000 cedis as part of the employers' contribution towards the construction of the Ghana Infectious Disease Treatment and Isolation Facility, which is located in the Ghana East District in the Greater Accra. The essence was to augment the numerous measures being taken by the government in stopping the spread of the pandemic in the country.
At the international level, GEA is affiliated to international organizations that advocate for competitive market and create platform for employers all over the world to meet periodically to discuss and adopt global business and employment standards. Most of the laws and practices that are being implemented day in and day out in our workplaces are normally negotiated and agreed at international conferences and workshops. Specifically, at the International Labour Council or at the International Labour Conference organized by the International Labour Organization every year in Geneva. GEA therefore offers Ghanaian employers the opportunity to participate in this conference, allowing them to make input into the domestic and global labor, employment, and business issues.
I mean, the future for tripartite dialogue in Ghana looks promising and stronger. All the partners recognize that on our own, we cannot deal with the problems we face. But we also recognize that when we come together, when we bring minds together, when we bring resources and energy together, we can fashion a program to deal with the individual challenges we face. And as I've indicated, for us in labor, we even want to strengthen the tripartite dialogue with a bipartite framework so that we don't go to the tripartite level disagreeing amongst ourselves between labor and employers. We want to have a bipartite agreement, and we also want to decentralize that level of bipartite framework so that we are not just at the national level agreeing on things. We want to take it down to the workplace level, where employers in all sectors, in all enterprises are dialoguing effectively and actively with workers at that level. That kind of engagement means that whatever we agree at the national level is the outcome of the decentralized agreement. And it also helps workers and employers at all levels to own the process and to own whatever outcomes that come out of our engagement processes.
So, as a member of GEA, let me say that the Volta River Authority is a member of GEA and a council member of GEA. What it means is that we have the opportunity to network with other employers who may be either in similar sectors or in other sectors. And because of that network, you are able to, share ideas, you get best practices, you learn a lot from colleagues, and they also learn from you. Again, for being a member of GEA, we have the opportunity to seek advice from them whenever there is the need, and they provide advocacy, and they also provide evidence-based research programs where you are able to seek that kind of information and the outcomes of which support your organization. As member of GEA, we also get the opportunity for capability development, capacity development for our employees, for managers, and for other people in management positions. And these are some of the benefits that we derive from GEA, being members of the Ghana Employees Association?
GEA, the next 10 years, will be able to triple its membership and in all sectors of the economy. I also see GEA as the mouthpiece of the employers continue in the country, continue to do that and advocate for competitive national economy that has the capacity to create more jobs and also offer enormous opportunity for businesses to thrive and grow.
Well, if there's any other time that the GE has really come to the aid of its members is during the pandemic period. The association has helped members, one, in trying to get some financial stimulus packages to help them financially to be able to withstand the vicissitudes of the pandemic. Again, the association has helped businesses by way of helping them with an employer's guide to walk them through the do's and don'ts and how to manage employer-employee relations during this pandemic period. Again, the association has helped members to build their capacity on how to handle some pertinent issues during the period, especially when employees are working from home, the code of conduct, how employees can be supported by organizations to do all that. And I think that for all the efforts that we have put in place, I think primarily we have been in the position to support them adequately, and to the extent that many of these organizations have been able to come out of the pandemic without much difficulty. And I would urge all employers or businesses who are not yet members of the Employers Association to take this opportunity to join, because together we should be in the position to advocate some social, economic, and business policies that would help develop this country, especially by way of job creation and business growth and development.